For the week of August 25th of 2025, I had a weekly rotation. My weekly rotation is what I wore on Monday through Sunday of that week. This week, I'm going to call the weekly rotation the best signature scent tobacco money can buy. That's all I wore all this week. So my least favorite of DNA, which is number 7, we're going to go with Montabaco Verano. So with Verano, this is the fresher of the DNA. What you get here, the most dominant note you get in Verano is the grapefruit. You get the ambroxan. You get the ISO-E. You get the sandalwood. You got a little bit of powdery florals, like with the violet and the magnolia. You get that tea in here. But to me, the tea isn't as pronounced on my skin as it is in a few of the other DNAs of this. But it's just my least favorite because somebody has to be number 7. Somebody has to rank there, right? But this is just a great, to me, you can wear this year round. Even though it has that bright grapefruit citrus effect, in my personal opinion, the whole entire DNA is wearable. But at number 7, that's Verano. The fresher. We'll call this the fresh one. Coming in at number 6. Number 6, and this is what I wore on Tuesday. This the one I call the fun one. This is the playful, flirtatious, fun version of the DNA. And to be honest, it really shouldn't be in this DNA. If I'm going to be honest with you, this fragrance shouldn't even be in this DNA. And this is going to be Rio. Now, what you get in Rio is this takes that Lamari Porthole, God of Fire, mango DNA, and then adds just a little bit more woods. But the tobacco in here just adds this dry woodiness to it. But this is all about the fruits. Now, what I will say is, to me, when it comes to the sweet mango DNA, that really sweet mango DNA, if I'm going to say pound for pound, in my most humble opinion, you can disagree. This is the more realistic, better of that mango sweetness. Don't mean you need to run out and go buy this. Just a fun wear. I'm glad I have it in my collection. Do I think it needs to be in the tobacco DNA? No, they should have just named this something else, in my most humble opinion. But since it's here, it's going to be my number 6 favorite from the line, and mostly because it shouldn't have been in the DNA, and that's what I wore on Tuesday, and that's Rio. What I wore on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, what I wore to me is the most masculine of all the DNAs. This has where all the other DNAs use this suede, which suede is a leather, but it's more of a supple leather. If anybody's went into a leather shop, suede just smells and feels different than like a cowhide leather or, things of that nature. This uses leather. It has the woods in there. Sure, in the mid, you get a little bit of florals. I think oak moss might be in here too. So it's a little bit woody. To me, it has that freshness, but the DNA is just probably the most masculine of the DNA. And on Wednesday, what I wore is Aruba. That's what I wore. Now, the screen, because the lights and it's kind of shiny, but I wore Aruba. Now, this one is the most masculine of the bunch. I think this is more base heavy than the other ones. But it's so good. This is a man's fragrance. Like if you say, I want a man masculine, I want that man, that I want to walk into a room. I want that power tie. So for those who wear suits, you got the power tie. It might be a red tie, but that's just that power tie. When you wear it, you walk into a room with a little confidence, masculine. That's what I get from Aruba. to me, that leather, that oak moss, especially in the autumn, it kind of almost makes it, during autumn, it makes it somewhat my favorite of the DNA. Like, I would reach for this the most. As it gets cooler, I'm going to reach for this more than probably any of the other DNAs. I'm going to reach for it more. But when I'm ranking them, I think pound for pound, just overall, is not my favorite of the DNA. But 7, 6, this is my 5th favorite of the DNA, and this is what I wore on Wednesday, and that's Aruba. Okay, what I wore on Thursday. What I wore on Thursday is my 4th favorite of the DNA, and this is just the DNA that turned me out. I don't have to prolong it. This is probably the most balanced of the DNA. It's just balanced to me, and that's Intensivo. Intensivo. If you can see the other fragrances, you know, you can't, they're not see-through bottles, but I put a dent in all of these. I really love this DNA. I've enjoyed this DNA, and Intensivo is one that it's just balanced, man. It's absolutely balanced. It has that, you get everything you get in the top. So you get that cooling, like mountain air kind of thing. It's very icy. This is what I wish when you start talking about Kilian's Angel Share on the Rocks or any fragrance on the rocks, and they say you want something cooling. This is what they should be trying to achieve, but they didn't hit it well. This is cooling. You have that tea, which just that tea and those florals, I believe magnolias in the middle, rounds it out. Then you have ambergris in the base with some ambroxan. You have this supple suede. This is probably just the most balanced. It's probably the one I would introduce most men to. This is one I just think it is a Gerber tool. It is a multi-tool. You can do a lot of things with this, and it's not too smoky. Just has a hint of smoke, but not too smoky. Now, that hint of smoke you got to be careful if you're wearing this on a first date. This would be something you wear to work, and then you go to happy hour and you're sitting at a bar. Yeah, you wear something like this. You're going to be in a suit, you wear something like this. Jeans and t-shirt, I mean, you can wear what you want to wear, but this wouldn't be my go-to fragrance for that. But again, to me, I call this the balanced child. This is the child that failed a little bit, did okay, right in the middle. This is a C grade. And this is my 4th favorite, and this is what I wore on Thursday, and that's Intensivo. My third favorite, and this is what I wore on Friday. This is my 3rd favorite of the DNA. And with that, my 3rd favorite is going to be from the house of Boadicea, and that's Knight of Love. Knight of Love. Now, I've seen videos of these. Like, once I own it and I had my own thoughts on this fragrance, I was okay watching videos because nobody's opinion was going to sway my opinion on this. But the beauty I love about Knight of Love, people would say Knight of Love is a clone. Yes, I understand why they say that. They say Christian Prozano clones everything. Bro, this is so far away from Montabaco. This is so far away from all the other ones I'm gonna talk about. It is like it's different. I don't even know if I really want to call it a clone. Just because it has the same build or the same frame, I don't know if I really want to call this a clone. Inspiration, sure. Clone, it is different. And what makes this special and different is this raspberry, strawberry nuance that you won't get in any of the other. This is the flirtatious one. That fruitiness up top with the tea, with the magnolia, the way Christian Prozano uses magnolia in his fragrances, from blue sapphire to all his fragrances, to Hanuman, it is special. The way he used it is special, and he did his thing with this. As somebody who owns them all, I'm telling you, side by side, there is a difference. You can tell the difference between your triplets. I can tell the difference. And that's Knight of Love, my 3rd favorite from the DNA, the flirtatious one. My second favorite from the family, from the tobacco family, my second favorite. This one was love at first sniff. Love at first sniff. This one is fruity up top. This is almost like it goes into a blue fragrance. It almost transfers into a semi-blue fragrance. And that's weird, but it has this combination of like, if you took the Montabaco Intensivo and you gave it a little bit of imagination with a little bit of meteor, you would get this fragrance in like the most simplistic way. No, you can't blend those fragrances and get this fragrance, but in the most simplistic way, that's how I would describe it. Now I'll get into it. And that's Cuba. Cuba. This was running pound for pound with my favorite from them all. Up top, this is top heavy. Now this one is top heavy, top and mid heavy. This one has this bergamot, mandarin orange, almost the way most like a meteor wears, but not really. But it's this almost creamy citrus orange thing. I feel like orange is the most dominant player in the back, and the bergamot lays in the background. I feel like the orange really plays here. Fresh, sweet, extremely fruity. It's my most complimented from the DNA. And I've worn all of these a lot. This is Floor. And this is my number one and what I wore on Sunday. So that, people, was my weekly rotation for the month of August 25th of 2025. This is my number 2 weekly rotation. For those of you who are new here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to tune in for the next video.
The new Cypher.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?